questions. On September 28, 2015, the VA Office of Inspector General report recommended the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Columbia, pursue criminal charges against 2 VA executives it found to have abused their position in order to take jobs with less responsibility while keeping higher salaries. The report detailed how the VA executives pressured subordinates to accept positions transfers only to volunteer for the vacated jobs while keeping their original salaries and having the VA pay them for more than $400,000 in taxpayer-funded relocation benefits. Will the DOJ pursue charges against these employees, and if not, why not?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. With respect to a matter that's been recently referred to the Department, it's a matter that is currently under review, and so I'm not able to comment on it at this time.
Well, I think one of the things, issues, and I think the gentlelady from California also talked about this as well, the VA issue is something that has been ongoing. And I think you made a rightful statement that our veterans deserve that to support and help. And I think we're seeing we've seen it in Georgia where people are just transferred, not held accountable. And there's some that have been held accountable. I think coming to this conclusion, it's more than just words. Actions have to be taken here, and to simply say we're going to look into this is frankly, the American people on both sides of the aisle are not satisfied with that kind of a response. I do appreciate your mention of Veterans Court. The Veterans Courts are working in my home county in Georgia, and we're expanding that process. Governor Deal, as well as local DAs and judicial circuits, have worked well in that regard. So I would commend that and continue the process as we look forward. I want to move to an area that is coming up a little bit. It's on trade secrets issues. And we recognize that trade secrets are an essential form of intellectual property, and companies in America, however, increasingly target the sophisticated efforts to steal proprietary information, harming our global competitiveness. There are many in Congress, including myself, who believe we need to create a federal civil remedy for the misappropriation of trade secrets, keeping and harmonizing the legal frameworks so that companies can protect. The administration, through IPAC recommendations, supported a call for private right on action on trade secrets. Do you join them in recognizing that such a private right of action would be beneficial?
Certainly, Congressman, you raised an important issue and one of great priority to both me and the entire Department of Justice. We are committed to prosecuting cyber criminals who do seek to steal our intellectual property. I believe the last recent estimate was that we are losing possibly up to $250 billion worth of intellectual property a year through hacks and crimes and the likes. And we look forward to working with you on the proposed legislation that you mentioned, that you discussed. So
you do believe a civil private right of action would complement your efforts, given the resources and limited actions many times that you have? That would be something that would complement your actions that you currently have.
I'd like to see the language, but certainly we look forward to working with you on that.
Okay. Also, I want to, and we're jumping to several different issues, and one I want to come back to that was brought up earlier, and it has to do with sanctuary cities. And it goes back to a question that I want to know, has DOJ taken any action to withhold law enforcement grants or other funding to sanctuary jurisdictions? If not, why not?
Well, the grant process under which DOJ operates is a formula-based grant-making process, and different organizations and entities within cities apply. Certainly with respect to our grant-making process in general, we're always cognizant of concerns that come up within certain jurisdictions. We have found that through our grant-making process, we can effectuate great change in a host of very significant and focused
Madam Attorney General, if I don't mind interrupting here, but shouldn't following the law be a prerequisite for a grant?
Certainly we work to enforce not only the laws that you are referring to, but all the laws with the cities with whom we work.
But getting a grant, if you're not following the law, have no intention of following the law, why should, I mean, at that point in time, the application should be just set aside, follow the law, we'll talk to you about your grant. Why can't we get to that?
Well, thank you for the question, Congressman. Certainly it's been raised in a number of contexts. We do find that our grants are very focused on specific areas. For example, providing more police officers on the ground.
Again, you got great talking points. I appreciate that. That's not my question. How can you get, if you're using money to circumvent the law, as you just basically implied, that's even worse. You don't incentivize this kind of behavior. Why would it just not be a permanent stop to the grant-making process until a city or a municipality or a government entity complied with the law?
Well, Congressman, with respect to our grant-making process, we do make very discrete, focused grants to specific portions of city government.
So in essence, you will subsidize lawless behavior. That's what the Attorney General of the United States of America has just testified to. And you can sit and, I mean, is that's what you just testified to. You'll give money to to a locality that is not following the law because you want to use your grant in discrete private ways. Is that what you just said?
We use our grants to incentivize better behavior in a host of ways, and our grant-making policy is focused on a very rigorous application
So you're telling the
process
people of the 9th District of Georgia
fact-based.
that taxpayer dollars that come to them is being used and will not even be considered if a locality is not complying with the law, you will still give their tax dollars to a locality that's not complying with the law. Is that your testimony?
We look at a host of factors.
So the
when
answer is
interstate-
yes.
We look
Not
at
your host of factors. It is yes. I mean, this is the part that, and the ranking member made a great point earlier when he first started. And I'm going to finish up with this. I've had these hearings, and you'll be back before us at another time, and I look forward to those hearings. But what is amazing to me and the American people watching here is, he said, tell the truth and work those, but also being prepared for questions. You're going to get VA questions here. You're going to get sanctuary city questions here. You're going to get a lot of host of questions, and even the ranking member listed those off. Coming and giving an answer that we're looking for, that we're not being, basically a setup where the people don't understand that is the thing that very much frustrates most people with Washington, D.C. You've been very well prepared for this by those who want to prepare you for these hearings. There's just a big disconnect at a certain point in time when the Attorney General of the United States will not say that they will not want to give money to an organization or to a locality that is not following the law. We're still going to give taxpayer money to that. That is unacceptable and what most people find abhorrent.